Hey there, welcome to today's episode of Q&A Helpline. So every Thursday I pick up a question from some of my members that are asking, whatever they want to ask, and I actually answer it over the phone, live in front of the camera or on a video format. So, and also pick up a topic that I feel should be addressed, and then I basically go in detail. So let me quickly go over today's topic, and then I'm gonna come back to answering the question that some of my members have. So the topic that I'm gonna cover in a minute has to do with top 3 things that all 7-figure agents have in common. And before I actually speak on that topic, let me cover the question that one of my members sent me. And the question is, is a script really important? And okay, here's how I'm gonna answer. Right, a script is actually, I treat a script as a life-saving, life-saving, something that can save my career. Seriously, the script is so important, so fundamental, that I feel that using a script can save your career and it can save your sanity. Why is that? Right? Okay, the number one reason, right, many agents do not want to follow a script is because they don't want to sound like a robot. They don't want to come across as too robotic and too rigid, and they want to appear lively. They want to have every answer to every question that the prospect is going to answer them, right? So they want to sound very conversationalist, they want to sound very friendly. But the thing is that a script is a guideline, right? So I developed my own script for real estate, and it works. Seriously, it works. And the reason why it works is because the number one thing that a script does is keep you on track, keep you focused. All right, so it doesn't matter what script you use, but okay, I will still tell you to go and use my script because that is the best script in my experience and in the experience of the agent that I've helped, that I also coach, right? But any script is better than having no script, because here's the thing, right? The thing is that the script is something that keeps you on track. All right, never forget that, because if you don't have a script, right, if you don't have something to fall back on to keep control of the conversation that you're having with the prospect, what is going to happen? Very simple. The prospect will do the controlling. The prospect will take control away from you and basically follow his own script. So prospects have their own script, and their script never says that the salesman wins. Their script says that the prospect wins. So salesman is never going to win when you follow the prospect script, right? So either you follow your own script or you follow the prospect script. So I'm sure the choice is very, very simple, very straightforward, right? Given the choice between using your own script or following the script of the prospect, most property agents, most salesmen would prefer to have their own script, right? But here's the thing, right? When they want to follow their own script, right, many agents have the thinking, I don't want to sound like a robot. I don't want to come across as too rigid, or I want to be a person that I want to be able to connect with the other party. I want to be able to have a conversation with the buyer or seller or renter or landlord or whoever is it, right? I don't want to sound rude and robotic, and it turns people off. That's the perception that many agents have. But the fact of the matter is, right, if you think about it, right, all prospects have their own script. And prospects, I've been teaching it, I've faced it before, I've been teaching it to my agent. Prospects are playing games. Seriously, prospects have their own game in their mind, and nowhere in their mind, nowhere in their game does the salesman win. Alright, I got nothing. I'm not devaluing prospects. I got nothing bad against prospects. I'm not bad mouthing prospects. But the fact of the matter is, this is life. Alright, so people ultimately follow something that it benefits them, right? And prospects, they're calling you from a place of their own benefit. They know the problems very well, right? And to them, you are just another salesman out of so many other salesmen, right? So when that happens, right, what is going to happen is most of the time they will stick to their own script. But in my experience of a lot of meetings and appointments and phone calls, the person who always wins is the one who has a better script, who has a more powerful script. Seriously. So if you look at my script, right, it's very very simple. It's just a series of questions, and questions are the proven way to control any conversation, right? How do you know which salesman is better? It's very simple, right? You put two of them together and you observe them, and you realize that one salesman, most of the time he ends up doing most of the talking, and you realize the better salesman, the one who has better success in his life, actually is the one asking all the questions. So by asking all the questions, he is controlling the conversation, he's controlling the script, right? So what script is he following? Simple. He has his own script, which is a series of questions, right? So the only way you as a salesman are going to win is by following your own or following my script. At least follow a script, right? Because if you don't follow a script, then the consequences are going to be bad. You're going to waste time, you're going to waste money, you're going to run around in circles, and you're going to stress a lot because you don't know whether the prospect really means what he said. So the prospect, over the phone, he sounds very enthusiastic and he said, sure, I'm going to meet up with an appointment with you, but then he doesn't give you a deadline when he's going to call you back. You don't have anything to fall back on. What do? You feel so stressed, you're so so frustrated. How are you gonna, should you call him? Do you want to call him again and sound desperate and appear desperate to him? So all these things are, is unnecessary stress which is happening right now, all because you followed the script of the prospect. You didn't follow your own script. So when you follow your own script, you will minimize all this stress, you will minimize all these unknowns, right? So there are a lot of unknowns, right? And some of the games that prospects frequently play is tell salespeople over the phone, I'll let you know, or I'll call you back. What does that mean as a salesperson? What does I'll let you know mean? Do you know what are they trying to say? No way, there's no way, right? And they'll tell you, I'll call you back. What does that even mean, right? What do you mean by calling me back? You'll call me back tomorrow? You'll call me back next year? You'll call me back a decade later? Or this is another way of saying you'll never call me back, right? So which is which? More likely is, if the prospect has been following his own script and extracting all the information from you, he is never going to call you back, right? Because in his mind, in his script, the salesman never wins, the prospect wins. So you must realize, as a salesperson, you have to be a bit more mature in outlook toward prospect. You must realize that prospects are playing games, right? How to win the game, how to win the selling dance that prospect forced you to go through. You follow a script, simple as that, right? So when you follow a script, you have a script protects your time. A script actually essentially protects you, and a script is the best filter out there to qualify prospects. All right. So you don't know what makes the prospect very qualified to buy or sell a house. You'll only know until you use the script on them and they answer the questions that you ask them. And when you ask, you'll find out more and more and more. When you ask from prospects, the only response to a question is an answer. Simple as that. All right. So when you use a script, definitely it will save your time, it will save your career, and most importantly, it will save you a lot of stress and it will save your sanity. All right. So that's why I hope you can see the importance, the critical importance that scripts play in in getting appointments, in getting commitment from the prospect, in getting all the information out from them, in getting stuff that they are never going to tell you out on the table, right? So you have something, you have information, you can find out a lot of stuff that the prospects are hiding from you. You never know, right? Ultimately, we human beings, we are not mind readers. We cannot read minds. Yes, we can get feeling by by observing in face-to-face interaction whether the other party is bullshitting you or not. You can get a feeling. You can your unconscious, your intuition will tell you that maybe this guy is bluffing, right? But that only happens in the in one-to-one meetings, right? But before you even have a one-to-one appointment, before you even have a meeting, you need to call up the prospects, right? Because obviously the prospects have left their phone number, they have left their details, and it's a very, very good reason to call you back, right? So in the absence of critical feedback like facial expression, like body language, like a lot of other things that happen only in a face-to-face meeting, right? You need to get an appointment, you need to get a face-to-face meeting in the first place, right? You have to call them before that even happens, right? So when you call them, you need to actually follow a script, and when you follow a script, you will ask the right question, right? And of course it's a good idea to memorize the script because it makes your life easier, right? But most property agents, right, especially those agents who are not succeeding very well, the number one reason is because they don't follow a script. That's the number one reason why they don't have any appointment, because they don't follow a script. It's simple as that. And I'm amazed when my agents come back to me and they tell me, Yasser, you're right, the script really works, thank you so much. But all the while I was always telling them to go and use the script, use the script, use the script. But something came up, the agents were too scared of sounding like a robot, so they stopped using the script. But the problem is that in their fear of sounding like a robot, they did something worse. They did a worse mistake. They didn't follow a script at all, and they didn't get any appointments, right? So I would prefer sounding like a robot any day. I would pick sounding like a robot any day over having no appointment, over having giving up control to the prospect. I would always take back control, and I urge you to take the control back by using a script all the time. Alright, so now I hope that I've answered this question to the best of my ability, and using a script will definitely save your career and save your sanity. Alright, now I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna talk about 3 things that all millionaire agents have in common. Okay, I have the honor of working with millionaire agents, and I have honor of working with coaching agents who have not yet hit millionaire income. So I know what millionaire agents have, what 6-figure or 5-figure agents have that is different from millionaire agents. So what is it that 7-figure income earners have, right? 3 things. Number 1, very simple, very straightforward, no surprise there. They have a system, right? So a system is an organized, orderly way of getting things done. Alright, and system use leverage in the form of marketing, in the form of technology, or in the form of people to get things done. Alright, so you're busy selling houses. Before you sell houses, there are 1,000 other activities to get the home sold, right? That is where a system comes in. And millionaire agents, the system works day in and day out. The system produces the exact same result month in, month out. So millionaire agents, they have a system for generating inquiries automatically, right? Because inquiries are the foundation of their business. And then millionaire agents have a system for booking appointments automatically, alright? And they have a system for closing those appointments automatically, because when you close appointment, then you're making money, right? And then there are so many other systems out there: information technology, customer relationship management. There are a ton of systems out there, but the point is, all millionaire agents, at least at the bare minimum, they have a system. All right, they have a system to give them consistent leads, consistent appointments, consistent closing. Everything is done consistently for millionaire agents, and that's why they become millionaires. Right? And the second thing that all 7-figure income earners have is the skill. All right, they have this one skill. All right, it's not the skill of writing persuasive copy. It's not the skill of writing good ad. No, none of that. The single biggest skill that seven-figure incomes have is the skill that they have mastered, this one skill of communication. All right, so communication comes in every, communication seriously encompasses every single thing that you do as a realtor, right? So when you master the art of communication, the master the science of communication, right, only then you are able to convince most prospects to become a lead, and you can convince most of those leads to become an appointment. That is how, using your communication skills, you can convince those appointments to list with you or to engage you to buy or sell a house, right? So communication is the number one skill that all seven-figure income earners, seven-figure agents have in common with each other than what I just covered, which is systems. All right, so the skill of communication takes practice. There's no other way. This is something that doesn't have a shortcut. All right, so it only comes with practice. It only comes with real world application. There's no shortcut to it. There's no other way to develop a skill except to practice. Right? So if you are going to be a world-class closer, if you are going to be somebody who is amazing at communicating with prospects, the only way you're gonna improve is by communicating. There's no other way but practice. All right, so practice the script, practice appointment, practice PowerPoint presentation, practice every single thing until they become world-class in closing. Right, so that's the second secret, which is skill. All right, and the third thing that all seven-figure income earners have in common is their personality. Right, so I actually talk about the successful entrepreneurial personality in my book, but the gist of it right now, which I can tell you, is that personality is the hidden aspect of it. It's the most underrated part of ourselves that nobody nobody out there actually pays attention to it, but actually personality pretty much guarantees your success or failure. Right, the kind of person that you are, the kind of personality that you have, right, will determine the level of success that you are going to have in any in any career that you choose. Right, so regardless of career, regardless of whether you are a salesperson, regardless of whether you are an employee, personality is the biggest aspect of success of many successful realtors, many successful entrepreneurs. All right, so I learned this from my mentor, and my mentor actually spoke to a lot of entrepreneurs. They all agreed when he gave them examples of personality characteristics, and one example that I can tell you about personality right now is the characteristic of being trustworthy. Because you are so trustworthy, your clients, your prospect trust you so much that they wouldn't want to list with any other agent except you, because they trust you so much. You have the ability to connect with prospects instantly. You have the ability to build a trust channel, trust pipeline with prospects so quickly that whatever you say, right, people listen and prospects pay attention to that, and that is critical. That is very powerful, and that happens pretty much automatically without you doing anything, without you having to spend time or effort or money on it. It happens automatically because it is an unconscious part of you. Right, so when somebody expresses this characteristic of being very trustworthy, prospects love him, right, clients love him, and that's why they tend to get so many appointments, tend to get so many closings, because they have such a high level of trust. All right, so that's why it is so important to have the right personality. So just now I covered three big things three main things that all seven-figure income earners, seven-figure agents have in common. The first one was, to do with systems, right? And the second was with the skill of communication, and the third one is their own personality. All right. So I hope that I have covered a lot of stuff today. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask me a question, and I'll be so happy to answer your question, and I'll hopefully cover it in the next video or in the next episode of Q&A Helpline. Bye bye.